What's up, everyone? Welcome to part 7 of how I got drugged at work. A lot of people are asking, okay, at this time, your supervisor has done a few things that are already kind of like over the line. Why haven't you reported any of this? Why haven't you said anything? And so, again, let me give you some context. At this time, we're now at the end of the summer. This is around between August and September. My supervisor had already been having conflicts with various employees in our department. There had been a number of little fires internally that required her attention. And I'm not a needy employee, so I haven't really been an employee in forever. As I mentioned before, I have my MBA. I've worked a number of years in various capacities in various industries, so I'm at a management level. But in this particular time, the reason why I took this position is because of the amount of freedom that I had. Had things been normal, I would have still been able to operate as said executive, as said manager. However, insert, and I use the term supervisor, nobody else calls her that really, but I'm using that just to put things in context for the audience. But anywho, enter supervisor, thus causing this what should have been extremely flexible executive level type situation. It turned into a more entry level experience. And those of you that have worked corporate America entry level, you know what I'm talking about. The authoritative management style, the constant looking over your shoulder. Like there were little signs along the way, but again, because I have not been in this world in so long, I'm thinking, one, maybe I just need to get reacclimated, or two, we can just rise above most of these things because they don't really, most of the turmoil that she's involving herself in outside of the comments here and the this and the that, they don't involve me. Again, I'm just trying to do my job and go home. And also, some questions have been, well, why didn't you report this to HR or something like that? So again, being back in this world, slightly corporate world, a lot of companies these days aren't traditional companies. We've entered the realm of disruptor industries. Uber is a disruptor. Netflix is a disruptor. There are others. Amazon is a disruptor. These companies come in, they make a lot of money, they revolutionize the industry in so many ways, but then they change things also. But they also don't offer the things that people are used to in a typical Fortune 500 company, i.e. HR departments, i.e. ombudsman, all of these entities that one would use. Should things like this pop up in a business, they're not using them because they're not required to, because they're just disruptors to the norm. So since society has kind of adopted that structure, enter said law office, who there is one person who was kind of classified as HR, but she wasn't really HR. And so there wasn't anyone to report this to, is my point. The owners of the company, another video for another day. So the point is that this woman had free reign to do whatever she wanted. And she used to say to us specifically, almost in every meeting that we had, I can do whatever I want to you guys. I can treat you however I want. I can do whatever I want. Nothing's going to happen to me. My job is safe. Your jobs are not. Like it was, it was giving Survivor. It was giving some type of reality show. Like you could be voted off the island whenever she felt like it. So again, coming back to why you didn't say this, why you didn't report that, there wasn't a safe space or entity to report to, one. Two, I'm just trying to do my job and go home. Three, I'm doing a great job. I'm not a needy person in terms of I need lots of attention, lots of instruction, pay attention to me. I'm not that guy. Tell me the rules. Tell me the job, what I'm supposed to do. Let me understand and grasp that. You won't ever have to see me. If there is an emergency, I got it. So coming into this space, having had work in legal before, even prior to legal, I worked in insurance. I forgot about that. But it was a different type of insurance. But my point is I had the mindset and the understanding of how to navigate this space. But the rules and stuff are different in different versions of insurance. So that's the reason why a lot of this stuff I just kind of let slide. So as she's able to see my dual existence in life, you know, I've produced and directed multiple projects at this point while working here. I had acted in front of the camera in a few projects. This social media campaign that I told you about, there was a project in May and then a project in like August and another one later. Like, it was really spaced out. But my supervisor got to see my duality of existence. And when she saw that, it was almost like like a moth to a flame, burned by the fire. Like, she then started trying to, in so many ways, try to insert herself into my world, wanting to know about my fraternity, wanting to know about the guys in my fraternity. When's the next party? When can we da 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 da? Well, when is the next time you're just having a holiday party? Like, when's the next industry thing? When's this? When's that? Which, under normal circumstances, because I am that guy, for my friends and people that I care about and that support me, absolutely, I want to expose as many people to my life as possible, because when I tell you that it's crazy, and I don't even show it for a whole other reason. But anywho, so when she's saying this, I'm thinking, you know what? Because now we've turned the corner from the summer. She's gotten a dog in the office, whole other video for another day. I see what I perceive to be someone trying to find balance, someone that's trying. I can work with that. Once we get to like September, October, now the team is kind of like gelled. We're working in tandem and in great alignment with each other, because again, it's us against these insurance companies, which I will address later. But these insurance companies, most of which really have done a complete disservice to the families and the people impacted by this fire. But again, another video for another day. But we are working these things out. So again, trying to keep kumbaya land and keep this thing going. So again, as she's, trying to insert, I'm great at the dodge and the bob and the weave, so I'm ignoring all of this. There's still conversations about my body that I still ignore. There's still comments about this, that, and the third that I ignore. But things again took a nosedive right around Halloween, because this is when you get to see how I was actually drugged at work. By this time, I've been working there for a little over 6 months. Personalities, we've had multiple meetings. There have been multiple, it's a very upbeat office, as I said, so there's always a birthday, it's always a cake. It's great, I love that. But because of that, people are learning more about you. And so one thing that was learned about me is that I am a snack food junkie. I used to be a snack food junkie. And my supervisor used to come in with some of the most exotic, when I say exotic, you go to the grocery store, you go to your convenience stores. She had candies that I had never seen before from my favorite brands, and I'm not gonna name them, but the various brands that we're used to. And so she would have different flavors and all of these things. But so now we're coming up on Halloween. And when we got to Halloween, y'all, now you gotta stay tuned for part 8.